Mr. Campbell, I thought you was going to have Jesse behind you tonight, Coach.
Well, I'm going to do something with Jesse, but we had Coach on, so I have the legendary C. Vivian Stringer behind me, the godmother of HBCU black coaches. We're going to get in that. We're going to see if Coach, gee, I wish she definitely knows who the great C. Vivian Stringer is. But we're going to talk about, because see, Rocky, I'm going to tell you a little history about Coach Stringer. And that ties all the way into Coach Thornton.
All right, we'll get it in here. Let's give them a few more, about another 30 seconds to get in here. They piling in right now. Want to thank everybody for coming on. I want to thank everybody for coming on to HBCU Coaches Corner. I'm Rocky, your host, along with my co-host, Mr. Stephen Campbell. Coach Cole is on his way. You know he's a busy man, and sometimes we're working off that West Coast time. He can't always be here with us, but he is definitely on his way for this show. He let me know that, hey, hold it down, and he'll be right on his way. Because we got a big show tonight, Coach. We got a big show tonight. We got a it's not very often, Coach, that you can say that you see legendary status in the middle of it, Coach, and you can not acknowledge it. You know, you have a coach that's coached at two different schools, had some success at two different schools, and to be honest with you, she kind of embodies what I've come to love and appreciate about HBCU sports. Coach, I'll ask you this because you are a HBCU historian. What's unfolding by this coach?
Wait a minute, say that one more time, Rock. I'm sorry.
Can you hear us? Can you hear me now?
No, I was coughing. I apologize.
No, I say what's unfolding with the coach we have on who has been at two schools. What would you say about her tenure so far as a head coach in HBCU football, HBCU basketball, and what kind of run is it, or have you seen something like this before?
Well, this is the thing, and we're going to talk about, like I say again, for the youngsters, we want y'all to do a history. I want you to go Google the great C. Vivian Stringer, and we're going to talk about that because Coach Don Thornton embodies that, and Coach Stringer, who had went on and coached at three different universities and took three different schools to the Final Four. Don Thornton is walking into those legendary, as they say, high heels, you know. And Rocky, what I'll say is, for somebody that, again, women's basketball has grown so much. These coaches, again, like Coach Thornton, has been part of that movement. And what I like the most, because and Rocky, you know, I am a huge women's basketball fan. I go way back before they even had the tournament. And it started in 1982 when the NCAA tournament, in which, again, historically, Chaney, coached by C. Vivian Stringer, played Louisiana Tech. Guess who played on that team, Rocky? Kim Monkey.
Kim Monkey, somebody I'm very familiar with, yes.
There you go. So to see the growth of somebody that started at HBCU and this go 40 years later, to see Coach Don Thornton, man, it is nothing but an honor, and it's nothing but for these young, beautiful black women, they have somebody to look up to. And that's one of the things I'm excited to talk about is the role model that she is at two different programs and nationally, because a couple of things I'm going to pull up because, like I said, this coach here is internationally known and locally loved, right, by some of the things how she moves. So that's what we got.
Well, with no further ado, I will bring up the current leader in women's basketball and is currently on a 12-game winning streak. They would be undefeated had they not lost their first conference game this year to Mississippi Valley. But since then, they have won every game since then, none other than the Alabama A&M women's head basketball coach, Don Thornton.
What's up? How y'all feeling?
Good. That's Coach, hey, you on a 12-game winning streak, Coach. Hey, and if something happen, you got a rattler on here with you, Coach. So if something happens tomorrow night, don't blame it on me. It's definitely him is the reason why something happened. But hey, Coach, I don't think you got much to worry about considering how your team's been playing. But with that being said, Coach, how are you doing? And how's everything going with the Alabama A&M women's basketball program?
Everything has been really, really, really great. Thank you all for having me. Let me say that. Taking the time out and want to spend some time with me on this Monday evening. So I appreciate that. Thank y'all. But the team is really good. Really trying to continue to keep everybody locked in. Keeping the main thing, focusing on how we're going to win a championship this year. I have a lot of kids that have been really with me for a long time, and then we brought some great pieces together back here with us. So, we're really excited about where this program is headed.
Yeah, Coach, I want to talk a little bit about this winning streak because you started the season off losing to Mississippi Valley. And I'm not saying that to troll you, but I'm just saying it was a surprising upset. When it was very surprising. You lost in a very close game. But since then, you guys have been lights out. Is that loss something you guys needed, or was it a wake-up call? How do you explain that? And then how did that factor into what's happened after that?
Well, I honestly tell anybody I'm gonna take the loss as a head coach versus Valley. We played a certain type of ball defensively in the preseason, and we didn't play a game after the Christmas break. Everybody plays the 26th, 27th, 28th, 29th before conference, and so I decided to rest them and teach a new defense during that period of a time to give us more time to learn. And we just weren't there. And so we just went back to the drawing board, my staff and I, and we switched some things up completely within 24 hours, real quick. And everything just started to click from there. So that's the honest truth. I'm glad that we lost to Valley the first game of the conference. So we understand exactly what we have to do in order to continue to stay on the winning side.
Now, coming into this season, Coach Thornton, did you think you guys would be as dominant in the SWAC as you have been?
Absolutely. I definitely can say that. You said I was at 2 previous schools, but actually it was 3 because I was also at
Prairie View.
I forget you at Prairie View. Yes.
And so we finished at the top of the conference everywhere that I've gone, and I've been fortunate enough, thankful enough, blessed enough, favored enough to be able to do that and take all 3 programs to a championship game. And so right now for Alabama A&M, that's my ultimate goal, to get us to that championship game and come out with the victory.
As you mentioned, Prairie View, they having a tough season with their first year head coach. I don't know who was there when the decision was made, but I'm sure that was a bad decision to if they let you go. Now, if you took a promotion or went on to greener pastures, but who would want to leave Texas? That's what I would say. Mr. Campbell, you got anything? I got a few more questions, but I want to let you get in here as well.
No, Rocky, go ahead, because when me and Coach get going, go ahead. What you got?
Let me also say this, Coach. You say you coached at Prairie View. Was that very early in your coaching career? Obviously, it was before now, but was that your first head coaching job?
It was my first head coaching job, yes. But I was at Prairie View for 6 years total. 3 as an assistant and 3 as a head coach, but that was my second job. My first coaching job was at Tougaloo College.
Okay. And so you learned. I'm sure you learned a lot at Prairie View. You moved on and went to. I first got noticed your talent at Arkansas Pine Bluff, and then we got a chance, of course, to interview you last year. When you first got the job at Alabama A&M, you had a plan. You were very hopeful that you could turn the program around. Has your plan worked exactly like you thought it would when you took this job a couple years ago?
Alabama A&M is a gold mine, and I think a lot of people knew with our athletic director and our president and just the support around athletics. I think everybody knew that was a job on the men's side, the women's side, from football to baseball to softball. I think the word is getting out that Alabama A&M is really operating like a mid-major, university. And so just having those resources, having that type of support, and I was more so attracted to administration. I tell people all the time, I was in a good position at Pine Bluff, but I wanted something new for my career. I wanted to be under somebody that was forward thinking and those who could think that you could do the impossible and actually support you while you're on that journey to do that. That was very attractive to me when this job came open. So I could see with the resources, knowing Dr. Bryan and how competitive he is, he was going to do everything in his power to make sure that we had the things that we need to be successful. So now I would hope that was the mindset for sure.
Now, Coach, now when you were at Arkansas Pine Bluff, I must admit I didn't notice the impeccable style that you have. Well, I was just watching the ball. But Coach, to be honest with you, you're a social media darling because of the way that you put it on for game day and the way. And I think what's really neat is your players embrace the fact that they do have a fashionable coach. Coach, let me just ask you this: where did that style come from? And did you add to it at each stop and it's blossomed now, or it's just people are just now noticing?
I think that to start there is yes. I was like this at Prairie View. Even let me tell you, we won a championship in 2014, SWAC championship in 2014. And I changed clothes from the game to when it's time to cut down the net. I brought an outfit just to cut down the net. So I've been doing this for a very, very long time. But the truth is, behind that story is, I was bullied growing up. I was never comfortable being in my skin. I was never comfortable of who I was as a girl, as a young woman, going into womanhood. And I told myself, I'm having conversations with these parents and everybody, and as I'm recruiting young women, and I'm saying to them, like, I want your daughter to be strong and be confident and be all of these things, right? And so for me as a head coach, how can I sit in someone's living room, in someone's kitchen, at the dinner table to tell them that I want their daughter to be their unapologetic self and, and them being this confident individual? And at the end of the day, for me, I'm just putting myself in a box because I'm so afraid of what people are going to say. I'm so afraid of, doing too much when this is really just me. Because honestly, when I started coaching, I had an administrator come up to me to tell me that I don't want to see any of your tattoos out. You need to wear long pants and, and you just need to make sure you're covered up. But I don't have those type of athletes. You know what I'm saying? I got kids that really want to express themselves and be themselves. And they have a head coach that wants to be that way as well. So I just embraced it. And hey, I'm the Diva Coach now, right? I guess.
Hey, Coach, I knew Coach Cole wasn't going to miss this one. Ain't no way he was going to not make this one. Coach, you definitely are the Diva Coach. I mean, excuse me, the Diva Coach. But we got a coach that's coming on right now, and he also takes pride in being stylish. And hold on, let me get Coach that went dark on me. And Coach, I've had long talks with Coach Cole about this, about how it's important, how important appearance is as a coach, and not only what it represents to the public, but it also represents to the team. Now, I'll ask you this: when you're, do you concern yourself with being over? Because Coach Cole mentioned to me that because he was, let's just use the term fly, right? He was often mischaracterized as not being a serious competitor, because he may have been paying too much attention to his fit and not enough attention to his game. But he always let his results speak. And he was, of course, he was a championships coach. Is that how you kind of carry it too? I'm
sorry. Yeah, absolutely. Everybody's going to have an opinion. Everybody has an opinion of what they think you should or you shouldn't do. But I think for me as a Black woman, I grew up watching Lafayette Stribling, the the head men's basketball coach at Mississippi Valley, who have on a red suit with red gaiters and walk out with a Kango red Kentucky Derby hat. So if Lafayette Stribling could walk on to a court with something like that on, what was the coach name at was it at Grant, Eddie Robinson? You know, no, the football coach at Bethune. What was his name at Bethune?
Wyatt Shine. Oh, Wyatt.
Him. Them. If they could walk around back then like that as black men, somebody got to tell me why I can't do it as a black female. I mean, it's proportionate, it's respectful. You know, it may be a little fashionable, it may be a little bit too much, but you know what? She too much. That's just who I am. I'm too much. So that's just me.
Hey, Coach, I know you're a big fan of Coach Thornton. Can you respond now, Coach? Because I told the coach how you struggle with people taking you serious and how you important. Now, Coach told me the reason why he paid so much attention to what he had on, because when he grew up, he had one pair of shoes and one pair of pants. He gave me this story, right? So,
That's right. That's right.
Can you identify with some of what Coach Thornton is saying as far as, you know, the style is expressing who she is as a person and also overcoming some of the challenges that she had as a young girl?
Well, firstly, I want to say I apologize to you because we should have been had you on. And, you know, I know you get in your season and you guys get out. You know, you always have been a guest on my show. And, you know, I appreciate all the great things you have done. Now, I don't know. Have she told you guys where she actually really learned it from? A coach named Denise Taylor, Texas Southern graduate, was one of the first women that took a head job in the WNBA. Her name was Denise Taylor. And Miss Thornton just took it to another level. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, she understands the thing when you look good, you dress good, you get paid good. You know, so she understands that model, man. And she's swag, Coach. You know, that's how we do it in swag, man. It's just, you know, when you see coaches like Coach Walker from Alcorn, and, man, I've seen them on the sideline kick her feet up and the high heels go up in the air. You know, so, you know, it's rich in tradition. As she said about Eddie Robinson, I mean, he coached with a tie on the sideline, and those great guys, Coach Merritt from Tennessee State, he coached in a coat jacket, man. So it's that tradition that we have, and the thing about it too is, and she'll agree with me on this. We already going in with, well, they got holes in their shirt or holes in their uniforms, and they look like they gonna look like this and look like that, you know. So we as SWAC coaches and representatives, man, we want our players to look good. We want our coaching staff to look good. I hate when I look on the sideline and I see our African-American coaches dressing like, you know, the coach over there used to be at the New England Patriots, man.
Belichick.
You know, Belichick, man, we used to be sharp, man. But we had those people in front of us to mark and advertise ourselves, man. And, man, I mean, I can't say enough about Thornton now. She the real deal. I'm surprised you ain't got an NIL.
You know, I'm working on that. Anybody watching, y'all come hit your girl up. I'm working on that. I'm trying to get it. I'm trying to get it.
Yeah. So, man, I'm so glad you are on the show tonight, man. And I know we ain't gonna keep you in our league too much longer, because, boy, y'all doing it on the women's side. Y'all doing it. Y'all coming in and making it happen, man, and getting on out of there. You know, no more can you just stay one place. And you know, I'm looking forward to you. You know, one day, I know you're at A&M. I know, you know, that's my homeboy over there, your boss. You know,
okay.
We're from the same place. You make sure you tell him to take care of you. You know what I mean?
I'll do that. I'll make sure.
Yeah,
I will.
Yeah.
Hey, Coach, you don't have to worry about her. And now, again, she was at Prairie View, and that was a surprise to me that she was at Prairie View. And she also said something about cutting down the nets at Prairie View. So that means she won something. So, and then I'm very familiar with what she did at Arkansas Pine Bluff, Coach. And now when she came on here 2 years ago, she didn't sweat it all. So, Coach, she's one of those coaches you like. She's a winner, Coach.
Ain't no question.
Right?
Ain't no question, you know.
But with also being a winner, Coach, she is a social media phenomenon, Coach. And what I want to ask her is that have people just picked that up, or is that something done strategically by your marketing team? Where is that? Where is that coming from? Like, how did you get that kind of traction?
Honestly, I don't have a marketing team. I just got the favor of God on my life right now. I think that I have accepted and have embraced what it feels like to just be in your season, right? And when you keep the main thing, and stay focused on your assignment, and those who know my story know how much pain that, you know, I've had and I've endured as a basketball coach, you know, losing everything. So, you know, what you all see now, this is the rebuild. Like, you know,
2.0.
I've done this, literally as humbly as I am possibly speaking. The last championship that was won on the women's basketball side at Prairie View was mine. And I had 4.
Okay, Coach.
Yeah, I had 4 there. And so just separating from there to where I am right now, I've been this woman scale where I've really just tried to just blossom and just trust God and understand my calling. And I think that now being in a position to where you can be on a stage to be seen, you know, it's women in sports are evolving every day. And so now it's like, okay, well, who is this woman? And she is kind of dope, and she looks just like me, and she's doing it so differently. So I think it's just been one thing to the next, to the next, to the next. And it's just a thing. Social media is just a thing now. And so because it is a thing now, we're just going to ride the wave, right? That's the best thing to do.
Well, I tell you what, you guys hired a guy that's real good friends to us too, that really kind of started this phenomenon of this HBCU deal, you know, even though, you know, sometimes he was controversial. Y'all got Scotty over there now. You need to be sitting up in his damn office and putting something together, because, you know, he got over 28,000 followers probably, and I think it's your time. You know, it's your time. You know, ain't no question. It's your time, and I look for you to do bigger things. You know, if it's still at A&M or if it's somewhere else. You know, I'm just so happy about, you know, your accomplishments. I mean, you called it way back when we first talked, you know, when you were still digging the ditch. You know, now you up on the highway driving in the Benz or something now, you know. But I wish you well. You know, you're doing a great job.
Coach Cole,
go ahead.
Let me ask you this here, Coach Cole. I didn't mean to step in here, because there's a theme here that Coach Cole always brings up, Coach Thornton, is that how HBCUs seem to somehow, some way, get rid of their championship coaches. Like, that intrigues. Again, I don't mean, this is not, it just intrigues me of how it happens over and over and over again at HBCUs, how they find a way to separate from their championship coaches. Coach Cole, it's not just a theme on the football side, huh? Is that?
You know, I don't think it's so much on the basketball side, but definitely, you know, football is the first sport of the year, and I really think our women basketball programs have gotten bigger, if not bigger than our men's basketball side. You know what I'm saying? Because our girls are actually now, the women coaches are actually going out and getting big time players. No more are they playing with the small team or the little girl over there across the street. See, they actually still in play. And girls are different than guys. You know, a girl will get tired of playing basketball and walk away. You know, a guy, you know, that usually don't happen. And then, you know, girls are more, and you can correct me, more emotional and more like to be attached to the coach. You know what I'm saying? And she does a fabulous job, how she carries herself, how she looks, you know, how she's trying to not only make you just a basketball player, but a lady once you walk off the court. And I think that's real important.
I just find it peculiar. You know, I'm just coming into space in 2021, and to find out that this is a theme on the football side, and to find out, you know, through our conversation we're having today, that it also has been a thing on the women's basketball side of the championship coach, get a team somehow losing their championship coaches. Again, I don't know the circumstances of which you had to change, Don, but is there on the women's basketball side, is there a significant amount of turnover on that side as it is on maybe the football side, and even men's basketball? Since I've been in the sport, there's been several men basketball coaches turning over. You know,
I think that's a great question. But I mean, I've been in this conference for a very long time as a student athlete, playing at Jackson State University, coaching at Prairie View for 6 years, Arkansas Pine Bluff for 5. And then I'm in my second season at Alabama A&M. So I've seen the generations. I've seen the turnover of athletic directors. I've seen where, you know, kids are moving from the Gen X to this generation.
Gen Z or whatever.
I've seen it all, right? I've seen it. And I will honestly say it's definitely tough for us as Black women leaving this conference and being able to go obtain, you know, the next job. And I think at one point last year, I did the math, and in my span of 15 years, it was only 3 or 4 women who have left this conference to be able to have an opportunity to coach at the next level. And I think retaining coaches is something that I think we have to kind of get away from, right? If you want to just be completely honest, because retaining student athletes, it's something that you have to get away from now, because we're coaching kids from year to year. But sometimes, you know, programs make hires for coaches as stepping stones. Sometimes coaches make hires for people who are retiring and looking for their last job on the way out, you know, or coming back home, for whatever the circumstances are. I just think that when you have something good in-house, you support it, you ride the wave, you water it, you nurture it, and you watch it grow. And their job as the coach is to leave the house better than what it was when they got there. And as long as you continue to have somebody to buy in, to believe in that, your universities, our universities, all of them will flourish and they will grow. But I think that we just have to continue to embody that as an HBCU community in a whole.
Coach, let me jump in. Let's talk some basketball, because I think this is important, because for me, like I told you, I'm a big college basketball fan. You're from the state of Mississippi. A lot of people don't know the state of Mississippi is one of the greatest women's basketball producing players in the country. And I'm talking about 30, 40 years. Jennifer Gillum, Jackie Martin, Victoria Vivens, people like that. So I wanted to talk to you, because when I was coming up and watching girls basketball, you saw all these great players. Like I said, I'm talking about Jennifer Gillum and people like that, Janet Lawrence. And they had white male coaches, or they had white women coaches. And then you saw things starting to change as you were coming through high school and stuff like that. And as you can see, I have the great C. Vivian Stringer behind, who paved the road so you could walk. How important, as you seeing yourself, the Dawn Staley's, Nicole, Noelle Ivies, and people like that, Coach Ivy at Notre Dame, and things like that. Tamika Reed, of course, that was at Jackson State. How important has it been for just the young Black women that you coach to see themselves and what you could be? Because I'm curious about when you were at Callaway, and like you said, you played, did you ever think was coaching? Because, of course, they did have the WNBA, but was that something that, because now you start seeing Black women moving into high-level coaching, was that something that you were looking to do?
You know, it's crazy that you said that. I knew that I was going to be a basketball coach my entire life. I didn't want to do anything else. You know, back when you were in elementary school, you used to like draw. If you wanted to be a nurse, you might draw like a nurse or something. I used to draw a whistle. I knew that I wanted to be a coach. And when I got into the 7th grade and I really started playing basketball, I had a white woman as a coach. And I was like, she over here on the north side of Jackson, Mississippi, you know, and dealing with all these kids coming out of Shady Oaks and all these different areas and stuff. And she in here just kind of handling us like, but we didn't have a relationship with her. Like, we love the sport, we love the game, but she don't really look like us, right? So she don't really understand our struggles and what we're dealing with every single day, and what that feels like, you know. And I had a great coach, don't get me wrong, but I felt like in that moment I was like, I want to be able to be that same person to young women, to young girls who are playing a sport and doing something that they love. I want to be an inspiration to them as well. And like I said, I just knew my whole entire life that I don't want to do anything else. I just told my best friend today, if I'm not coaching, I don't know what I don't have a backup.
So when you see people and names that I named, and again, they're a little bit older than you and things like that. And I heard Dawn Staley talk about how when she cut the nets down, she tried to send a piece of the net to as many Black female head coaches. That's why, were you able to get one of those?
I got my piece. It's right over there. I got
how
my
important is that when you see a Dawn Staley, and you, like I said, you guys are on a path to win 20 games, which, and again, and you know how this goes with the scheduling, that you got to take a lot of games because you got to pay the bills. But you're being dominant when you're talking about you're beating opponents by 18 to 20 points. How important is that when you're coaching and people respecting you as a Black woman coach, and that they don't have to go out? Because again, we don't know what your path may be. I hope you stay at Alabama, but again, you know there are other people that are looking at you also and things like that. When you talking to these young ladies, how important is that this bond that I see all the Black female coaches that you all have, and what you have to go through because you're in conferences that, like you say, that people unfortunately only see you guys as players, not as coaches?
You know, nobody loves those girls on my team outside of their parents more than me. When I invite our kids into my program, into my space, into my house, they know that I'm coming unguarded, full of love. I'm here to make all your dreams come true. Whatever it is that you want to do, let's do it. Let's do it. I'm crazy enough to push you for you to believe that you can do it. Let's just do it. Let's do it together. And that's something that I really and truly take pride in. I saw a post the other day, and somebody wrote, I would never hug my college coach. Like, you know, hugging and saying I love you is a real thing in my program. And kids and recruits are able to see that on social media. This isn't like a front. This is just who we are. Like, we're family, right? And so I just think that just being able to have some of the greats to pave the way for where I am right now. Of course, I'm familiar with Viv Stringer. When she was when I was coaching at Tougaloo was when I first learned about her. When she was coaching at Cheney University. So it's been a lot of greats, and I never thought that I could fall into their shoes, but I'm building my own legacy, and I'm so blessed and so thankful to have an opportunity to do that at A&M.
Now, one of the things when you see, and again, in the SWAC, and like you say, and Coach named some of the coaches, the SWAC, again, one of those underrated basketball conferences for female basketball, women's basketball. When you're seeing right now, what do you see was good with the conference, and what would you like to see more for us as alumni to support women's basketball? What would you like to see more of? Because what I've seen, again, I think, especially with your team, and we saw that with the Jack State team, you guys get the right seed, as you well know, especially the way the tournament is, and you guys get going, especially with the type of defense. There's an opportunity to win a game there and things like that.
Yeah, well, and I'm not gonna get on here to brag to tell you we number 29 in the nation defensively. And
no, I want you to brag. I want you to tell people because listen. I'm gonna come back because I am gonna do something about your social media. But we had to talk about your coaching. I want people to know that I want people to hear about this coaching, this legend I'm talking about.
We number 29 in the nation defensively this week. Last week we was 37. 2 weeks before we was 52. So we're kind of holding opponents about 20, like between 15 and 20 points less than they average. So we're really excited about that. And our young individuals, they know that our goal is to be top 25 in the country. South Carolina, Dawn Staley is number 18. So we're trending in the right direction, and we're really excited about it. But one thing that I would like for my A&M family to do, I want to talk about my house first before I talk about somebody else's house, is that we really have to do a good job to rally behind what's good when it's good, right? You know, in growing up in Jackson, Mississippi, you live on the north side, you represent Callaway. If you're on the west side, you represent Lanier or Provo, whatever, right? And so at the end of the day, if your team was playing, everybody comes out, everybody shows love. So I think once we can kind of build that type of environment, that type of commitment from the communities, that's what's going to help our HBCUs. We be so in our feelings. The coach leave, oh, I ain't ever coming back. We had a losing season. Oh, I ain't buying season tickets no more. You can't win it every year. You know, you just can't. You want to. We really and truly want to. But sometimes it's just not designed for us to do so. But we got to still support those. And I'm sure, think about it. How many people are Laker fans or Dallas Cowboy fans?
Right.
They still rocking with the Cowboys. It don't matter. You know, that's still going to be my team.
You picked the right one.
Yeah, so we have to have that type of support behind our HBCU. So if our conference can do anything more, support each other. Support your own backyard.
Coach, let me ask you this, because one of the great questions, as you're coming up and now you're getting ready to get that torch passed to you guys. You know what I'm saying? You guys are the next wave and things like that. What young coach that you see assistant, and also who do you see on your team that you say, you know what, Mr. Campbell, as she graduates, she might still be next to me in 10, 15 years. She's going to be a coach.
I had a kid last year, Jaya Harris Smith. I'm still begging her. Jaya, if you're watching, I know you're not watching, but Jaya, I want you to come coach with me. But also, right now, honestly, Kayla Walker, SWAC preseason player of the year. She's been with me for 5 or 6 years. And she just graduated with an engineering degree. And we're not going to be an engineer. We're going to be a basketball coach, because she is phenomenal and has been wonderful to me, to my program. But she's so passionate about basketball. And so I'm excited about trying to groom her, to push her to get outside of her comfort zone a little bit.
Now, wait a minute. You spoke it. Now, what was the young lady you named first? What was her name?
Jaya Harris Smith.
Okay. Now, tell us, why do you think, because you just made a resume call for, why is that young lady? Because we got to track her down and get her together. But why? Because, see, this is what I think, and I think this is so important when I'm talking about these beautiful, extremely talented Black head coaches. Why it's so important? Because these young women see themselves in you. Why would this young lady, because you just named it, and I think that's important. I know it. We got to find it, because if I heard my coach say that, it would just make my heart just flutter. What is about this young lady? And tell us when you coached her and what is about her that you say, you know what, Mr. Campbell, this is the reason why I named her.
She played with me last year, actually, at A&M, and she graduated back in December, and was just a leader on and off the court. You know, just gonna always do what's right. Can read a room and call a team huddle before I could even get the whistle to my I couldn't even get the whistle to my mouth to put them on the line to run them. Like, she just knew every single time, and knew when to stand up to the coach to say, hey, coach, I think we should do this. And so when you have kids like that, they are very talented. You know, they have a gift. And that's your job to pour into them. And I know that Jaya knows that I love her. I got her number. We ain't gotta find her. I got her. Yeah,
we went to coach. Listen,
I got her number.
Coach, you might listen. You need to text her right now. Get on here. We're gonna tell her go on and get this job. We're gonna support her. Now, coach, I'm gonna turn it back. But listen, before you leave, me and you gotta do one thing, because see, I know everybody talking about your social media stuff, but I do want to ask you. I want to talk basketball first, because I think it's important for people, because we have thousands of people that watch this show. And I'm going to say this because this is always important to me. We have a lot of parents that watch this show. I get texts all the time. And while, like I say, you're stylish and all that, and that's great, because I am going to tease you a little bit about it, because you're from Jackson, you got to be fly. So I already know what that's about. You know what I mean? That's how we move. But I wanted people to hear the type of coach you were and what made you to be that type of coach, because this is about basketball, you know what I mean? And things like that. So that's the reason why I asked some of those questions. So I'm going to, let Rocky and them get back at it. But I got a couple of things now, because the tournament's getting ready to come up. And I want to hear what you think about some of your peers and how they move and how you would match up with them if all things was equal. And they say cut the lights off and lock the gym doors and have your girls against their girls. So go ahead, Brock. I'm going to let you, Coach, get back in.
No, since y'all on this Jackson thing, right? A friend of mine, acquaintance of mine, Derek Thomas, mentioned that Coach Thornton was an outstanding basketball player at Callaway High School, and that there was a very memorable game that she played in. I think it was 1998. I remember. And Coach, I know you probably fell in love long before that game happened. But why is it? Because we spoke earlier today. Why is that game so memorable to you and the people of Callaway? Like that's what Derek mentioned to me. You lit up when I mentioned it to you earlier today. Your mom even chimed in while we were having our discussion. Why was that victory so important against Merle?
You know, I think back in the day, the JPS Pepsi tournament that was held at Forest Hill High School was one of the hottest tournaments that you had right after Christmas every year. And, you know, we would come so close playing in state every year. And I think that even playing the Callaway, the Merle rivalry, that was our rivalry school. And it was just always, it was always wall to wall. Everybody can't even get in. It's 2,000 people inside. It's 1,000 people outside. It's every hometown rivalry feel atmosphere. It's just crazy. And Merle just won a championship the year before that. You know, Tamika Reed was on that team. Ebony Felder, she played at LSU. Keisha Tardy, Ebony played at UGA at Georgia. They had all these Power 5 kids on the team. And boy, we came through one day and we knocked them off their block and everybody just went crazy. And listen, it didn't matter if we won another championship ever in life. We knocked them off the block. And so it was a really, really dope thing. We won in the championship game there. So it was really nice.
Coach, let me ask you one Rocky real quick. Now I'm from North Jackson. How many of them old Callaway Charger old heads came up to you and said, that's what we were talking about? We've been doing it for all
the time.
Hey, Coach, you mentioned another very successful coach in the SWAC, Tamika Reed, as your competitor in high school. Coach, you guys have been going at it for a while. And as you followed her career and you followed your career and you both being from the same hometown, what do you think about the success she's had as a coach? And is this something you saw in her when you were competing against her?
Absolutely. Tamika has done a phenomenal job, really and truly turning Jackson State women's basketball into a powerhouse. We won a championship when I was at Jackson State in 2003, a regular season championship, and we would always go back and forth head to head with Alabama State. But just for what Tamika did while she was there, definitely kudos to her. Hats off to her. And let me tell you, we didn't ever, never want to play them. For real, we didn't. And she did a phenomenal job with my alma mater, and I couldn't have asked for a better coach to represent our conference. And just to see her leave Jackson to go to Charlotte is inspiration for us all. I think, again, like I was just saying before then, like how many coaches leave this conference, Black women that leave the SWAC to go get the next job on the next level. So for Tamika to have an opportunity to do that at Charlotte as she's getting her feet planted there, and I know that she'll do well, because one thing about it, she's a competitor and she does not like to lose. So I'm sure that she's going to do a tremendous job with that program at Charlotte as well.
Coach, as in this era, as you were a hooper and you went off to college and played ball, and now that you're a head coach and the landscape has changed, what is the most difficult aspect of coaching in this particular era of coaching? You found a tremendous amount of success, and you've transitioned in. You've been a head coach. The transition from literally, it was against the rules to buy the kids a burger, to now certain kids are expecting to get paid to play. What's the most difficult thing that you deal with on a day-to-day basis now that you're in this pay-for-play landscape?
First off, shout out to all my people on here for Jackson, Mississippi. Jackson, Mississippi is in the chat. I see it. So shout out to all y'all. What's up, my Callaway fans? Jackson, my hometown people. So hey, y'all. So I definitely want to speak to them now. But before they tap out and go to bed on me. But listen, I will honestly say managing personalities. On the women's side, you don't have to deal with the egos, and any kid that had a handler when we were recruiting them and their parent, they got somebody called, well, she needs this amount, she needs it. I don't even want to entertain them because I don't have the capacity to try to make a kid happy based off of $1. What I'm going to sell is me, right? I need you to commit to me. I need you to commit to Alabama A&M. I need you to commit to wanting to leave a legacy and wanting to be a part of history. And everything else is going to take care of itself. You commit to me, I'm going to take care of you. And you can check my Carfax. I take care of my kids. I don't tell them one thing and it becomes something totally different. And I took care of all of them. We have one of the largest pool of rev share in the conference, I do believe. And so all of our young women, including our freshmen, are very well taken care of. They could buy me a ribeye steak on any given night. So, they don't have no complaints.
Absolutely. Hey, Coach Cole, I see you ready to get in here, Coach. You on mute, Coach. Hold on. I'll unmute you, Coach. Go right ahead, Coach.
Oh, well, go ahead. Hey, Ms. Thornton, is the way that you came through playing women's basketball, and now, I referee games. I refereed a game tonight between two girls team that was horrible. Middle school. Is there a difference between then and now, or are the girls much better now, and know what direction they want to go when you go out and trying to recruit? And also, do you hold a basketball camp as well, huh?
I do. Well, to be honest with you, I think the game is changing. It's going back to a lot of skill development, because I think a lot of kids at one point wanted to be real extra and have a lot of sauce and do all this other extra things. And now I think you got a lot of coaches that are really allowing kids to be themselves in the flow of an offense, per se, but really and truly teaching the skill development behind it. At least we do. We're really, really big on developing skill and really trying to improve our kids in their game. And so shout out to my assistant coaches for doing a phenomenal job of that, because they're in the gym countless hours, really and truly trying to work on our kids to get better. So that's a real thing. So the talent level, I think it just kind of depends on the league and what you're interested in. And for me, as far as our basketball camps, I do several camps, but the one that's most important, most rewarding to me is the free camp that I put on for the community, where it's for boys and girls. And we really spend a lot of time really trying to just empower them. And, people come out and cut hair, and we give out food, and we have a back to school drive. And, we have a lot of, it's just a great family atmosphere. And so I just kind of want to bring that old school. I want that old thing back, like this new generation stuff can make you feel like everything has to be done a certain type of way, like flashy, but I want that old thing back. Like I wanted to feel like it used to feel back in the day.
Yeah. If you're talking to coaches in middle school, what are some of the things that they really need to focus on with girls or young basketball players as well?
I say the first part of your question again.
I said, what would you tell middle school coaches, girl coaches, I guess? What would you tell them? What is important that they should be learning at that age?
I just want to I think a lot of our middle school coaches have to embrace their position in their lives, in these young girls and boys' lives, as they are the foundation. right? And you got to be smart when you are introducing your kids to sports, organized team sports in middle school, because everybody qualified. I used to, so I'm qualified. But I really think it's important that they embrace the foundation side of really trying to work on those attitudes and those relationships, and really teaching the fundamentals of the game. And I think that that's a real important thing, because you would be surprised how much we work on boxing out. And boxing out was the first thing that I learned to do when I was in middle school. I would think on the football side, it's like shooting your uppers, right? Like, I mean, you gotta have a certain technique to make sure that that you get the leverage you need to. So it's the same thing in basketball, but I mean, so many of our kids, we work on it every single day.
You have a question for you, Coach Reed. I mean, Coach Thornton is, and I know the answer, but they ask you, is the camp in Jackson?
No, the camp is I started to do a camp in Jackson last year.
They got buses. Coach Thornton, that'll drive from.
Stay tuned. That may be something that I wanted to do that last year. Just stay tuned. Stand by. You never know.
Because ain't nothing wrong with you doing a satellite camp.
Hey, they got territory rules, don't they, in Mississippi, don't they?
Nah, look, Coach, listen. Coach got to go get players. But Coach, you talked about something, and again, as somebody that watches basketball, women's basketball, and Coach tickled me. He said, "Wow, those little girls are horrible." Women's basketball as a whole, even from the time when you started, the skill level has been tremendous. And I'm looking even at the SWAC when I'm looking at, again, we don't have as much height because, everybody gets the height. But talk about the guard play that I have seen at all the teams. Again, Coach Gordon, again, one of my favorite coaches because he's a rattler. But, of course, I watched Coach Gordon at the University of Tennessee, who's on the Mount Rushmore of Tennessee. I think a lot of people don't understand that. But I'm seeing what she's doing with her guards. I'm seeing what you're doing with your guards. I'm seeing what the Coach Jack State doing with their guards down in Southern. Because, again, we have all these great guards in the conference. What is that? Is that part of what you guys are teaching them? Because, we don't have a lot of heart, but we do have a lot of great guard play. Is that something that you say, you know what, let's teach this when you're talking about the fundamentals?
Well, I think guards now, guards have always come a dime a dozen. No disrespect, to that position at all. But I do think that it's a bigger pool for you to choose from that position. And so, and I think you can handpick what you want in those positions. And I think that coaches are being more creative as to what is important to their programs and how that fits into their systems. And that's how they're making those decisions, because it's a lot of great guards in our league for sure.
How hard is it for you all as coaches in the SWAC to recruit the size, the young lady, the 6'3.5", 6'4", up to 6'5"? I know you go to a lot of these tournaments and stuff like that. How hard is it to try to get that post player that we've seen, again, that can take you to a Final Four, that can help you win a conference championship because of the way the women's game is structured?
Well, recruiting comes second nature to me. So that's easy.
So, Coach, you just go out there and get. So let me ask you a question. Well, since this easy, what is the type of player when you're going out at these tournaments and stuff like? Give us the 5 things that you're looking for that checks boxes to say this person could be a Lady Bulldog at Alabama A&M.
Well, character is very important to us. You got to have good character. You got to be able to be respectful to your parents, to your coaches that you're playing for now. And I don't do attitudes. So, I'm watching how you respond. I'm watching to, the way that their body language is. All of those things are very key to me when I'm looking for talent, for sure. But also you got to be a dog, and I want some little divas. I mean, I want a team to resemble my personality. Everywhere we go, we talk about big energy and what that looks like. And so I want people and young individuals to walk in the room and say, oh yeah, I am her. I'm her. It's my day. Yeah. And I think that's a real thing.
Coach, can I ask something? When you guys travel, when y'all travel, is is everybody dressed like you? or is it a team dress code? Well, when I've coached, kids had to have belts on, no flip flops. You had to have clean shaved. You had to have a collar shirt. When we dress, is that one of your deals, or do you just let them? Is that a part of your program?
We move around like the Dallas Cowboys. Everybody got on white socks. You got on the shoe I bought you. Make sure everybody got the same T-shirt on. No, you can't put a hole in the shirt. No do-rags, no headphones on when you're ordering food. No cell phones at the table. And when you get off the bus, drop your phone in the box. That's what we do.
Right. So is it a dress code that the ladies have to come in, sort of like?
Well, it's yeah, they do. Yeah, they have a dress code. Yes,
especially when y'all flying, y'all on the plane.
Everybody will look like everybody will have the same thing on. Right. The same thing on. Absolutely.
Coach, I know we're gonna get you out here, but I want to get your opinion on something that's related to the WNBA, because you are fashionista. Did you have you've been coaching a while and you've been watching the sport a long time. Did you ever think fashion and style would become part of the WNBA the way it is right now?
Honestly, yes, I did. You could see more women stepping up, having a voice. And again, I think that word being unapologetic is a real word for our women in sports right now. I don't think that people really understand how difficult it is on a daily basis just being a woman, right? And so I think now we have created a space to where we can go in rooms and just be whomever it is that we want to be. And if it's not for you, it's okay, because it is for somebody. And now, even for me, like, I have so many people come up to me and just say, you just don't know how you inspire me. And I'm like, all I did was I just woke up this morning. That's it. And so just having that type of mindset and that type of mentality, we're just going to go in spaces and go in rooms and just be ourselves. And who cares what you think?
Yeah. Coach, let me jump in here, because I know we got to go, but I want to play this game because, again, I thank you but Rocky led into something. I'm going to share my screen because I saw this and I was fascinated, and I'm going to share my screen, and I want you to tell us what you were thinking when you put it on. That's the game we're going to play. Hold on. Let's see if we can get in here. Coach, you got a whole article written about 7 times Coach Thornton Turnhead will study fashion state. Now, Coach, did you know about this article?
I haven't
Coach,
seen.
you got a whole article about you on a website in India. Okay? Did you wait now, Coach? Wait a minute now. Folks will check you out. Now, Coach, they said 7 times. Now, Coach, I'm going to ask you a question. We're going to scroll through these. Okay. Can you see this look right here, Coach?
I can.
Tell us about this fit, Coach. Now, how did this come together right here?
I have a stylist, and her name is Tanya Pugh Johnson, and she's out of Birmingham, Alabama. And last year, she came out.
BS3 Network, changing the way you watch TV.